How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Make Money Trucking. So we're out here in the middle of the night, gonna be replacing a fan clutch assembly on my 2011 Freightliner Coronado. So we've got a lot of it torn apart. I'll show you here. So we have the coolant reservoir off and the fan shroud off. Next, what we need to do is take off the fan blade itself, and then we can work on the fan. I'll show you the fan hub assembly down there. This is weird because this is the only way you can buy this. You can't. You used to be able to just buy the disc piece on the end, but now, unless you want to rebuild it, you have to replace the entire thing, as I didn't feel like rebuilding it. So we're gonna take this fan off. Basically, there's going to be, I'll show you here, there are bolts on the front right there. Hopefully you can see that. We're gonna undo these bolts right here. I think there's 5 or 6 of them, and then we will remove the fan blades very carefully, watching the radiator and being careful of that. All right, so we got all the nuts off of the fan blade, put them up here, nuts and washers. So basically we're just going to carefully move this fan back and forth to get it to kind of come off, so we don't go into the radiator. Might be pretty interesting. All right, we got it. All right. Whew. We got it. Whew. Got it pulled off. Whew. Put that there. And now we'll work on getting the belt off next. All right, so this is the belt that we're looking at needing to take off. This is the tensioner pulley, and there is a fan clutch that we need to replace. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to stick a 1/2 inch socket into this arm on this tensioner and crank it down, and that will allow us to remove the belt that goes down there and then back up and around the fan clutch pulley. All right, so we're going to use a breaker bar. Push this down, and we can loosen it up enough. We're gonna leave this right here. All right, so we're gonna leave that wrench right there. Hopefully nothing breaks or gives way. So we're gonna undo this belt, move it back around. There we go. All right, so next what we're gonna do is we're going to, on the top of this pulley, there's an air line, and we're gonna undo that. We're gonna loosen this airline up right here. We're gonna loosen this up, and then we can remove the airline, and then we'll remove the whole assembly itself. All right, so we got the airline disconnected. So now we're gonna unbolt these 2 bolts on each side, and then 2 bolts on that side. If you can see, these 2 bolts and these 2 bolts, and we'll lift this whole assembly out. All right, guys, so we got all the bolts undone on both sides. Now I'm just gonna try to carefully try to pull this thing out without putting it right through the radiator, so that should be fun. So I put a bungee cord on this. Hopefully that helps. All right. Whew. All right, we got it out. Whew, it's right there. That thing was very difficult. All right, so we got it out. There it is. So here's the old one. We're gonna have to undo this this adapter back here, and then we'll pull this one out. This is a brand new one. All right, so here's the new one, and here's the old one. Now I'll put a clip on screen on the, like, this Detroit 60 series. You used to be able to just get the disc. This piece would unbolt from the this housing here, and you could take that off after you remove, like, so you take this whole assembly and this piece would unbolt, and this does come apart too, but I didn't feel like doing that, whereas the 60 series was a lot easier to do that with, where this one is kind of just one assembly, unless you want to rebuild the fan clutch itself, which I didn't really feel like doing. I don't know how to do, so we're just gonna replace whole assembly. All right, so we got the new fan clutch hub assembly here, and then we've got the old one here, and we basically replaced this guy. This fitting went right here on the old one, and it goes right here on the new one. And surprisingly, this fitting here was actually really hard to get. It's a crush airline fitting, and it's a 1/4 inch. So basically, here's the old one, if I can get that to focus, and then here's the new one. So we're gonna go ahead and attach the new one to the back here and screw it in. We don't need thread locker because it already has some type of thread locker already on it. Yeah, so we're gonna screw this into place, and then we will pick this up and put it back on the truck. Goes right there, and we're gonna see if we can't get tricky and a little bit interesting using bungee cords to kind of hold it in place, because believe me, this thing is heavy. Just wanted to point out, the new one does come with its own nuts and washers to bolt on the fan blade, so this kit does come with that as well. All right. Whew, that worked out. All right, guys, I got the 4 bolts on. Those 2 right there and the 2 on the other side right there. I fought this stupid thing. I got it on the bungee cord and kind of got it in place. This thing's really heavy, and one of the bungee cords slipped off, so I had to grab it and end up dropping it. And when I did, I dented the radiator right there. Right there's a big old dent, so hopefully that doesn't go through and cause a leak, and hopefully I didn't just cost myself $2,500 for a radiator. I knew it was going to be a pain in my butt, but that really sucks that I dropped that thing. But it's back on. We're gonna tighten these bolts down all the way, and then we'll put the belt back on, and then we'll put the blade on after that. All right, guys, so we got the belt back in place. I left this big wrench in the tensioner so I could easily let's see, put you guys where you can see here. There you go. And we're just gonna push this down like so, and then make sure it's all even. All right, there we go. Whew. All right, we got the belt back on. Make sure that the belt is on all the ribs. Like, want to make sure it's even, because as soon as we turn the truck on, it's just going to shred it if it ain't on properly. So you want to check to make sure it's even in between the ribs all the way around on each side. We'll go ahead and look. Everything looks good. Hope that doesn't see that. And then we'll start putting the fan on. All right, guys, so we got the airline fitting on right there. If I can shine the light on it. Got the airline on there, and then now we're gonna put the fan on. And be very careful not to damage the radiator again, which I already did down there. Hopefully I don't pay dearly for that. All right, so we got it in place. Now I'll take the washers and the nuts and start putting those on. All right, guys, so we got the fan on. We're gonna go ahead and tighten up those bolts, and then we will put the shroud on next. All right, guys, we're gonna put the fan shroud back on. All right, so we got the fan shroud in place. And down here, how this works is it just pops into place. Just kind of pop it into place, and there is a couple of bolts we need to put in. These bolts right here, one of them goes right here. And then another one goes up here. So one on this side, one on that side. We have popped the other side in and put the two bolts in on that side, and then the fan shroud will be all the way on. All right, so we got the nice shiny new coolant reservoir on. There's a bolt, nut, and washers that go on the top here, and just one nut down here, and then on the top there is two more nuts that go on top here, and that's how you put the new coolant reservoir back on. We're going to tighten up all these clamps for the coolant line here. We've got one more on that side, and then this line that goes from here to that side. All right, so we got everything back together, got all the lines hooked up, sensor, all of the overflow lines and the coolant lines, and then over there we got the main line, which you see it's right there on the other side of the radiator, and then there was a small line going to the EGR cooler, and then up here, if you can see it, there's this line right here that we got put back on. And I just did a once over, just checking, make sure we had everything plugged in and whatnot, make sure we didn't take anything else off. And then now we'll fill the reservoir and start the truck and make sure everything goes well. All right, so we got everything put back together. There's the new fan clutch. We got the belts back on. Made sure the tensioner is sitting in the right spot. We checked all the tolerances, like just visually, to make sure everything's in between the outer pulleys. So basically the gapping is the same on each side, so we don't have like a belt that's riding over any of the pulleys. Everything looks pretty good. And we'll put coolant in. We got a new reservoir, our old one cracked, so we'll put coolant in and start her up, and hopefully the fan clutch will work and we'll be good to go. All right, so we're gonna start this thing and hopefully all goes well. A little hard starting, but look out there, we see our new coolant reservoir.